Hi, it's Mark from Saphrox Studios. I want to chat a little bit about tuning your guitar and how important it is to make sure that you actually tune your guitar up properly and to a proper set pitch. Now, most people will tune any instrument with a Hertz tuning of an A set to 440, and that is common standard. You should be doing the same too. If you don't have an electronic tuner to help you do that, go and invest in a chromatic tuner straight away. If you're a bit confused by all the different types there are on the market, I made a video recently with a little link here where I explain the different shapes, the different types, so you can go and make sure you get the right one for you. In the meantime, you've probably been tuning your guitar up with a slight guess on what the bass E string sounds like, and then setting all the other strings up from there. We all can use that same trick of the 5th fret, 5th fret, 5th fret, 4th fret, 5th fret, and you'll get something you can actually play on. Your chords will sound pleasant and you can have a nice sing-along. That's fine. But does that approach actually do your playing any good, and does it do your guitar any good? And the answer on both counts, unfortunately, is no. So here are my 3 reasons why you should tune your guitar properly.
Number 1.
When you buy a new set of strings, you're going to find the manufacturer has gone to great lengths to ensure that the 6 different gauge strings in that packet, when brought up to standard tuning of EADGBE at a 440 Hertz, are going to make those strings all feel like they have similar tensions. You're not going to find one string is really flimsy and the other one is really rigid. Of course, if you do alternate tunings with that set, you're going to find you may start to incur floppy strings to rigid strings. Now, if that's the case, you need to start to look at altering your sets. Now, manufacturers do sets specifically for alternate tuning. So have a look out for drop C tunings, drop B tunings, drop D tunings, or whatever it may be that you're into. If you find the string set you're looking for doesn't exist and you want to go and make your own custom batches, then of course you can buy single strings and put whatever combination you need together. If you don't know what numbers you need, of course you can look online and find what players are doing using similar tunings, and of course you can speak to your local service agent. I'm sure they'll be more than willing to help. For the time being, if you're just doing EADGBE, the string sets that come in the basic packets are perfect, and the manufacturer intended you to tune them to A440, so please do so.
Number 2.
Any steel string guitar is going to have some form of reinforcement in the neck. It's generally called a truss rod, and it's a rod that runs all the way down behind the fingerboard, and it's designed to counteract the stresses of the steel strings pulling the neck forward. The truss rod technically pulls the neck back. Now, it's a point where it balances the 2 forces out. Now, when it's balanced, you're going to have it set so the string height is comfortable. The string height is called the action of the string, and it's basically, if the string height is set too high, you're going to have that entire string height to push down, and it's going to almost feel like you're playing a trampoline. It's not going to be good, and anytime you stretch a string, you're going to change its pitch. So therefore, if you're pushing the string a long way, you're actually going to make that string go up in pitch, which is not what you want at all. It's going to make chords sound horrible. So just make sure everything's set up properly. An action which is set normally is going to be very easy to play. You're going to get nice tuning, and generally it's just going to make your playing sound a lot better. Now, if you change the tension of your strings, you're going to find that the counterbalancing forces are going to be out of kilter. If you increase the tension of your strings, that means that when they reach their normal pitches of EADGBE, you're going to cause more force on the neck, and therefore the truss rod will actually be pulled forward. This may result in your string height raising. It's not always what you want. And vice versa, if you drop the tension of your strings, whether it be you increase the gauge but you drop the pitch, you may find that you don't match it properly and your truss rod starts to pull back. This means that your strings go lower and you end up with buzzing and rattles. So it's always best to make sure that your guitar is set up accordingly for what you need to do. If you've had your guitar set up for EADGBE, use it in EADGBE. If you're going to use an alternate tuning, get your guitar set up for that tuning. I know it's not always possible, but it is best practice. Maybe even have 2 guitars to suit.
Number 3.
Right, on to number 3, and this is probably the best bit of advice on this subject I can give you. Every time you play, you are learning something about the tensions of your strings. Every time you bend a string, you have to learn how much pressure you need to put into that string to make sure it reaches the pitch you need. If you're practicing at home with strings which are tuned slightly flat, or they're on really floppy strings, you're going to get false information on training that technique. You're going to find that when you get to your gig and that you tune properly and you tune to A440, that when you bend that string, the tension is going to be far higher, which means you're going to need more pressure to reach the pitch. And sometimes we can't hear ourselves properly on stage. Sometimes we do our sound check and the monitor mix is perfect, and then you get to the actual gig and something's changed, and you can complain about it all you like, but visually it doesn't look great to your audience, and sometimes the sound guy just doesn't care. At the end of the day, no one's looking at the sound guy, they're looking at you, bending flat. So if you do all of your training at proper pitch, you'll have a better idea how much pressure to put into your string to make sure it reaches pitch, even though you can't actually hear it. Keeping your guitars at constant tuning throughout means there's less movement on the body, which means you're going to improve the life of your guitar and the life of your strings. Make sure you get your guitar set up every 12 to 18 months. If you don't know where your local service agent is, have a look online, speak to your local guitar store. They don't always do repairs, etc., but they'll always know someone that does. So those are my 3 points. I hope you take them on board. I think they'll make you a better guitar player. Thanks very much for watching. We have a load of other videos that are on our YouTube channel. Please subscribe if you like what you're seeing. Give us a like, etc. Drop us a comment. It'd be great to hear from you. I've been Mark, Saphrox Studios. See you later.